take this, and not too shabby so far. We haven't run into anything too scary. I was very curious what kind of luck we'd get this run, because so far we've had a couple runs with scary unique encounters left and right. We've had a couple runs that were missing resistances in very different categories. Ooh. Okay, we're potentially getting hit here, but we can take one hit. I think we can take 2 hits. 17 plus the giant club. Don't love that. We're kind of in it till the end here, so... Ooh, I lied. We're gonna Ozukubu's armor, potentially save us a bit of damage. Ice Beast took the attention of the ogre anyway, so we're all good, I believe. Perfect. I guess it's a nice little chunk of experience early on here. Holy cow, another one. Bring in another Ice Beast. Oh gosh. This is so much worse because it's an N. Oh, my icy armor is still around. So that was with our increased armor. Holy cow. So what I should have done here is potentially switched places with my Ice Beast earlier. I think I had a turn with this buddy next to me. In fact, I definitely did because we just got hit. So we're definitely in 1-hit range, unfortunately. Curing Potion, don't believe is enough health to get us through. 15 plus 20, saving its base damage. Not great. Wow, should have paid attention. It's a 2-headed ogre. But what else do we have here? Let's take a quick peek. What exactly does Bend Time do? Just slows. It's a bit too late for that as well. Is this the end for Murphy? Let's see, random effects. Could do something. Oh wow. Calvin, you're a lifesaver. Net is probably the right answer. Not a guaranteed win here. I also think for some reason I just breathed in there and wheezed a little bit. I wonder if the mic picked that up. I'm like a weird old man here. But a net is a pretty solid idea. Hopefully it hits. And it's not a guarantee, but monsters will often take their turn trying to get out of the net instead of doing anything important. So let's do it. And then I'm even gonna switch places with my Ice Beast. Okay, Ice Beast's just ripped through the rest of that 2-headed ogre, and oh my lord, the EXP comes rolling in for us here as everything gets a level up, and we hit level 8. Isn't that pretty nifty? The one advantage to fighting and winning against an out-of-depth enemy. Okay, and then we run into this orc with a +9 Scimitar of the Undead, of course, because why not? This buddy, we should be able to take. I'm gonna freeze. Sick. I think if they don't have spell slash abilities, they don't have a choice but to try and escape the net. That's very interesting. There are a few specific fights that I usually like to hold on nets for, but I kind of forget consistently just how useful they are. But let's see, yeah, +9 Scimitar, nice weapon. Yeah, no kidding. Definitely pretty snazzy, especially the stealth will help us just get into less fights at the start here. And what interests me about this is the +4 aptitude in pole arms is really tempting on a Merfolk. But once you hit min delay with your weapon, there's not a whole lot of motivation to keep training past that, especially with a hybrid build, because we have a lot of skills that we're going to be pouring experience into, especially if we want to cast a wide variety of spells. So I might switch over to something like this, specifically because long blades called out to me. With a really good dodging aptitude on Merfolk, we can also get pretty high evasion and get a whole lot of riposte chances in. Potentially deal a lot of damage while we stand and kind of throw out our spells, which is kind of nice, just background damage, free damage as it were. Do you know what, before we cast that, I'm gonna take my steps since we can no longer do that. Why is the sword holy and of undead at the same time? Very interesting point. Scimitar of the undead. Somebody wasn't thinking there, or they really liked naming their weapons ironically. Which I get it, you gotta get creative. I'm sure a lot of the good weapon names are taken, you know? Even though I'm surprised, I guess a name like Of the Undead, you'd think that would be pretty high on the lists for some pretty sweet necromancy tools. But anyway, I'm putting way too much random roleplay into this naming convention. But okay, Menkar again. Seems to be a friend we see quite often in these runs. I think I can take you again. The resistance to cold is a pain in the butt, don't get me wrong. But ice beasts solve almost any problem in great enough numbers. Okay, so we did get tormented, but that's okay. That's just half health. It can never kill us on its own. So I'm gonna let my beasties do all the talking. And perfect, no problems whatsoever. That is the beauty of Summon Ice Beast here, is even resistance to cold enemies, you can swarm them and just let someone else deal with the problem. It's not that much of a problem anymore. Holy Sword make fast work of him. You're definitely right, but I am too much of a coward here. We're gonna play it as safe as we possibly can. Oh geez, bunch of points of interest at the same time. I'm gonna Ramparts to take care of this ogre. Then we're gonna let the Phantom come over to us here. I would actually, yeah, I'll break the Ramparts. I wanna get a couple slices in. The sword. Where'd you go? Dang it. Okay, let the Phantom come to us. We're not going to go chasing, and in fact, while we wait, I'm going to pick up this shield. Because that is definitely something we'll want in the future. Okay, buddy. Please just walk up to me. We'll summon Ice Beasts while we wait for them to walk up to us, so that we're not taking any wasted turns. And there we go. Got a couple slashes with the scimitar in for fun. Phantoms are often one of the early problem monsters that we come across on this combo for sure. Okay, let's take some steps, and then I think 2 Ice Beasts of our own should win this fight. But we'll wait out quite a few turns here. Oh, this is extended combat. We might have even lost our first Ice Beast just due to running out of time. Which is ridiculous. That was a gridlock battle there. One for the ages, no doubt. I guess this is another resistant enemy, which I should just be slashing. Don't know why I'm using a crappy freeze spell when I have a +9 sword that absolutely destroys these undead monsters. Silly me. Feel like I'm used to not finding such a solid weapon this, or quite this early in my hybrid runs, so I was not prepared to kind of switch my mindset to actually swinging this thing around instead of relying on my spells for pretty much every encounter. Not too shabby to start out here. Nothing too scary yet though, so don't want to speak too early. Many uniques that we could still run into in the early dungeon. And who knows when we'll find those pesky lair floors this time around. Ouch. Oh, I am weak to fire. Vulnerable to fire, that is. So let's take off that ring. And normally we don't want to be walking too much as a worshiper of Che, but I definitely want to walk around this corner here so that we're not getting smited out of existence while we wait for enemies to close. There we go. Don't even have to worry about the invisible enemy, just let the wall take care of that. Maybe bring in an Ice Beast to expedite that last bit of damage, and we're all good. Played this combo earlier today, but took Okawaru, then realized that meant Ice Beast summoning was shaky. Is it just because... Actually, why is that? Do you have to be careful about damaging your allies, I'm guessing? Also, another Holy Wrath weapon seemed to be a bit of a theme for us in this run. Yeah, the beauty thing. Yeah, definitely makes sense. No, the one nice thing about some of these summons is not having to worry too much about damaging them. It's the best part about, like, I know a couple of them have that to a further extent. Like, there are a couple of summons that will turn hostile if you do certain things. I don't know if it's just damage that does it, off the top of my head here. But stuff like the Spellforged Servitor, which is completely mindless, you can just do whatever you want to them. Totally fine. So that's partially why I always like taking that spell on Blaster Casters, because I always want to be ready and able to just throw out my strongest AoE spells without having to worry about collateral damage. It's the hardest part about being a superhero. Collateral damage. That's what all fantasy characters are in a way. Are just superheroes. And on to D6. Ooh, a pair of gloves. Definitely will take that for the free AC. And now that we're actually clipping along here, I should really take a moment to think about my skills a little bit. Summonings, for example, did not need to go up to 6. Probably could have left that at 4 since we have this Ring of Wizardry. Actually, on that note, I'm going to remove this Ring of Wizardry. Let's see where that leaves us. 4% miscast? Yeah. Definitely should have left that on 4, but all's well and good. And instead, let's think of the future. Because at this point, we could start to think about throwing on fighting to get a bit more max health in the background. Or dodging is tempting, because that +3 aptitude will make that fly by. In fact, let's even just bring that up to 10, and I want it to pop up with a little reminder, so we'll set the limit there. And anything else? Shields, something we need to think about. So I'll set that target now, but maybe not roll into it yet. I probably should. Okay, couple last housekeeping things. If we pop into our spells here and hit exclamation point, we can see the power levels is what we were looking at. Summon Ice Beast, still fairly low power, but that's fine for now. Ozakubu is pretty low. Frozen Ramparts is pretty much maxed out. Okay, I might turn off Ice Magic just a little bit for the time being, allow our invocations to pop up a bit, and our defensive skills to get going as well. We'll even make focus dodging, and I'll even turn shields on in the background. Be nice to be able to throw that kite shield on without affecting our spell rates too badly. But last thing to test is this leather armor. We put on this troll leather armor, everything's totally castable. Lovely. Beautiful. So finally we have a little bit of AC, and does this work like normal troll leather? It does. Magically regenerates its wearer's flesh. So now we have magic regeneration and health regeneration, which is pretty sweet. Also looking a little bit like a ninja turtle. Why did the shoulder pauldrons look like a back on us? Maybe it's because our merfolk are such thin creatures that those shoulders, something's off about that. In a good way, kind of. Because again, it looks like we're wearing giant beetle shell, or yeah, turtle shell. Something. But ice little white imp here is another ice beast. I guess I can't use words like ice beast when that actually means something in the game. Ice critter that can give an ice elementalist trouble in the early game, but once we have our ice beasts on our end, we're kind of in the clear, for at least those weaker examples. Kind of showing off for no reason there. Shouldn't be slashing with my sword, but you can kind of get away with it. And a necrophage. I'm not used to seeing them this early, so I want to make sure to double check. Still should be able to take this, especially with an army of ice beasts. Oh gosh, I want to do all... There we go. Thank you, friends. Anytime we have a problem here, we can definitely just call them in. And this ogre we can take care of on our own, finally. Nice to see the effects of our power creep as the run progresses here. There we go, done D6, and we're into the territory where we might start running into some of our branches here. Hopefully sooner rather than later. Always appreciate running into lair early here, not having to explore through too many levels of the dungeon. Also, we're super sneaky. Is that... oh, here's another word that I've never said out loud. Ufetibus. That Ufetibus was walking in circles around us. Kind of embarrassing, if you ask me. Okay, a bit of a wider or a bit of a wide open layout on the terrain here, unfortunately. Oh, let's bring in some more ice beasts before ours desummon from time. Which isn't great for our walls, but hopefully a combination of ice beasts and enemy stupidity will get us through it. That adder had a weird symbol on them. I don't know what that little blue oval icon was. Huh. Doesn't matter. Didn't exactly help them. But that one must be like blind, right? What is the easiest? It is wandering and blind. That's the easiest place for me to read this. Probably does say it on that info screen, but I'm lazy. But okay, that's a really cool theme because Rue has like made them all sacrifice. Okay, and in one quick and vicious riposte, we dispatched the cockroach. Very satisfying. I'm already liking the thematic appeal of running a longsword build here. Okay, summon our army around us. I'm even gonna back up here. And back up once more. Beautiful, because now any square around us, or most of the squares around us I should say, any isn't quite accurate, most of the squares around us are covered by our ice here, so we're nice and protect. And alright, not too shabby, even in the wide open expanses, we seem to be doing just fine for ourselves. And we finally find the economical temple here, which is normally an exciting time, but we've been happy with our deity here for quite some time on our own, and totally forgot about the cloak we picked up. So now we get the option to do a bit of fashion here. Could go for this kind of subtle, more subdued olive green, or bright, flashy, you know, let the dungeon know your name. Actually, that's almost the same green that my YouTube borders for this series are, so let's rep it. And another white imp here. Call in the cavalry. We'll keep it going. It's actually a nice bit of downtime. Maybe I can actually relax, take a couple sips of my drink. I've also just completely jinxed floor 8. It's gonna be nothing but wall-to-wall scary uniques after such hubris from me, but maybe I just canceled it out with that. I don't know, can you get away with rebalancing karma if you're doing it intentionally like that? Seems like kind of cheating the system. I think the karmic balances would see that coming, right? And we're definitely on our way to needing to do some serious inventory sorting, because I've just been picking up everything and not worrying too much about it here. But the other thing that I noticed just now is we have picked up Corona. So it's already down to 3%. I need to learn this spell, because if we run into an enemy that has the ability to turn invisible, we're going to do some experimenting here. I should have gone over the chat logs to remember exactly what the order of operations were here, but I believe it's to cast Corona and then the enemy goes invisible, and then see what happens, see if the Corona remains and reveals them. Have to try it out. Fun little experiment here. Oh, we didn't wake anyone up. Hello. Okay, do you know what? Let's go here and we'll shout. That should bring them running, right? Hello? Hello? Okay, there we go. Hello, friends. Anything undead we can slash through with our sword, and anything living will die to the frozen ramparts with haste. Oh gosh. Live draining is a wee bit scary. Let's bring in the cavalry before we lose all of our magic points. And also, yes, move towards it, because I don't want to waste any time. Beauty. Not too shabby. Dang old white imps. Okay, this will actually kill everyone past the white imp. Ooh. Okay, new plan. Oh, I guess we have to let the text finish first. But you, friend, deal 4 plus 6. Okay, that's not too bad. Because the nice part about Frozen Ramparts is it hits these enemies too. So as long as this enemy is the only one that can hit us, I'm just going to sit here, let some of these scary poisonous enemies kill themselves. I was hoping we wouldn't get too many riposts there, and unfortunately, or fortunately I guess, just as we finished off the scary poison monsters, we got the fatal riposte on the white imp, so it's definitely some perfect timing there. Not too shabby. Anytime we can take advantage of positional stuff though and deal damage to enemies, the scary enemies, well, having something kind of set and easy in front of us, we should definitely do so. Doesn't work for everything though, of course. We have to be very careful of any smite targeting and the likes, but okay. We've run into one of the first real hurdles of the Ice Elementalist build. These whites can be a pain in the butt, even with our cavalry, as I've been referring to them, our Ice Beast charge, can still have trouble taking out whites. They'll kind of mow through the Ice Beasts without too much problem, especially early on here. So we might have to come up with some more creative solutions for those bad boys. And we're really ramping up in piety here. If we take a look at our stats, kind of just been taking advantage of these without thinking about it too much. It's usually how a lot of these DDs go in the early game, where if you're not using their panic buttons, you're not worrying about it too much, and they're just there for when you need them. But here we go. The plus 10 to each and every attribute is huge. You could almost definitely afford to put on even heavier armor, so maybe we should keep an eye out for that. You'll also notice that I picked up this Executioner's Axe. Almost no chance that I use this, but it's kind of cool. Plus 8, freeze, resist elect, resist poison. If we find no sources of resist elect and resist poison, this is a decent stat stick. Gives plus 4 int, kind of helpful for spell casting. No shields, which is something we're actively working on getting going. But, it's interesting. I might even just wear it for now for that plus 4 int. I should try and remember when I have to swing it though, because this takes 2 full turns to swing. Definitely good to keep that one in mind. But okay, let's do some identifying of things to find out what other tools we have in the toolbox here today. Not too shabby, but nothing too interesting in the ring department here, as I just blew through all of them. Magical power is more mana, which definitely not a bad thing. Resist corrosion will come in handy depending on how we take the run or what kind of enemies we run into in the future. But the ring of fire is almost useless to us, except very situationally. But okay, drop wands of random effects, drop all these weapons that I've been lugging around. I think I will even drop the electric whip, drop the halberd for now. And definitely looking a lot clearer inventory-wise. Shouldn't have to worry about that stuff for a bit. Let's inscribe this identify scroll real quick. At R1, is that correct? Perfect. And let us do some identifying. Some good old identifying action. 4 potions of heal wounds is pretty huge. That's a nice advantage to have in our playbook here. I would really like to identify blink scrolls without having to use one in the process. We have both our healing potions. We're not in a rush to identify haste potions because we can't use them anyway. So let's maybe check out some of our scrolls. Amnesia could come in handy here if we want to learn something in a hurry. Okay, down to 3 identify scrolls, and there we go. We identified our blinking scrolls in that go, which is definitely a handy tool to have around, as we proved in the Minotaur run, where definitely saved our bacon a couple times when I got a little stupid, which is bound to happen eventually in these runs. So nice to have that option available. And you know, we're doing okay. I'm curious how the white fight would go. in my experience, not great. But turns out these ice beasts are just built different? Huh. I guess we do have 31 intelligence on D8. That probably does something in terms of our spell power and everything here, right? Is that why Frozen Ramparts is already maxed out? That makes a bit more sense now, in context. Look at this pitiful +3 scimitar. So weak and sad. And it's a freezing, so it's crap against our summons here in particular. Oops, did I accidentally... I used Ozaku's armor instead of summoning another ice beast? Whoops. But look at that, another scimitar for us. Piece of garbage though. Not even a little interested in that. It's not a +9. We're not interested, right? Okay, Wyverns can be a wee bit scary. Ooh, almost swung with my Executioner's Axe. In this house, we do not swing with Executioner's Axes. Perfect. That's a little bit better. But at some point, I may have to think about actually putting some points in long blades here. I wouldn't mind having this scimitar swinging at speed. Dare I hold out for an even better artifact? Could get like +12s or something. No, +9 is pretty much enough to get us through the game. Minotaur was happy with a +10 Trident? Those words are not the same brain. Just doing an absolutely great job with the vocabulary today. Keep it up, me. At least my brain's feeling a little more cohesive than it was last Sunday, so hopefully that means less directly dangerous situations we put ourselves in. No promises though, never any guarantees. Especially with Che here, because any situation kind of becomes a final last stand deal. I'm just going to click around here manually a bit to find where the heck that scorpion went. Hello? There are hotkeys to forget, or like to temporarily forget your exploration of the level, and therefore have to walk through the whole thing again, but I was kind of hoping to be able to forego that. Hey, there we go. Not too shabby. Still just swinging the scimitar with no training whatsoever, and able to kill a decent number of enemies. Huh. Definitely fortunate. Funny what kind of stupid things I do immediately after talking about how I'm feeling less apt to do stupid things in this session. But okay, entrance to Orcish Mines is not too shabby here. I would like to find lair entrance if we could, but won't be greedy or anything. Ice beasts are doing amazing work here. Even took out the warrior no problem. I thought I might have to get involved there. Absolutely beautiful. I feel like we got a decent amount of Che piety early, now that I think about it, because we ran into a lot of fast creatures. There was a lot of imps, a lot of frogs. It's all making sense, and we definitely weren't using piety at any real rate. Nice, dodging is up to 7. We're up to level 10 now. Definitely would not mind running into a couple more spell books. But hey, spell book. Fancy seeing you here. I'm gonna quickly check. I'm guessing our earth magic sucks. -2 aptitude in earth magic. It's not horrible, or not like completely impossible to get around. Fire magic at a -3 would be much more painful. Oh, but we're already going to be training armor at some point. Maybe just a bit. Let's at least check out, oops, capital M is what I meant. Check out some of our options here. Petrify is almost kind of castable. That's not bad. You know what? I am going to learn apportation right away before I forget. That's another really nice utility spell to have around. I think I even have mentioned it explicitly on a couple of the previous runs here, where it's been, oh, if only I had apportation, I could just grab that rune and get the heck out of here and not have to deal with this situation whatsoever. Yes, break our ramparts. Ooh, hello, troll. Yes, ramparts. Beautiful. Nice example of us being able to stay completely safe, let our summons and spells do our fighting. Now I'm a bit less scared. Oh, do you know what? Experiment time. 4/4. Purgy. Cool. Everything's exactly the same as far as I can tell. Good to know. Makes sense, like their hides, I guess you would expect them to be the same, but they could also lose quality as they starve. Because even things like giant cats lose the sheen of their coat and stuff like that. I say acting like I know anything about what I'm talking about. Don't know if that is at all relevant or similar. But keep it moving here. Maybe all these howler monkeys are guarding lair? It'd be nice to run into lair here. I'm gonna check real quick. It can be as deep as 11. Okay. I feel like every run, I expect to find those earlier and earlier in my head. Okay, forget. Oh gosh. Okay. There we go. Now we're safe again, even from the polearm. Perfect. Yeah, I've noticed just in this series that I'm no longer actively remembering those floors right. It's always around floor 6 that I'm like, oh, now we're getting to lair. It's lair time. But Orc is like 7 to 11 or 7 to 10. Lair is 8 to 11. I just saw this and yet. Those could have all been wrong because my memory is horrible apparently. But hopefully it's not hyper relevant, not the difference between life and death for poor old Murphy here. In fact, it definitely should not be the difference. Let's check. We're up to plus 13 in our attributes, which is absolutely absurd for this point. We're almost up to the intelligence that we were at when, well, we were originally lugging around this Executioner's Axe. Very fun. Shay is pretty great. Even just as a pure utility function for us here in the early game. Okay, Manticore is still... Oh my gosh, there's not a lot I can do. Yeah, barbs will hurt, but it's the only option here. There we go. Now the Manticore is in range. How much damage do you do with that? Okay, if you were next to me, you'd murder me. But barbs cannot kill me. Okay, I said that too confidently. I did not expect them to take a step towards me. We're fine. Let's, just wand while we wait. Hell yeah, Manticore down. Never a doubt in my mind. I'll definitely take a step forward here. My ice... Wow, ice beasts are still fighting? Oh, stop moving forward. Oh my gosh. There are barbs in my body. So, just sit here, spectate the fight. Let's be smart about this. Oh me, oh my. Hey, look at that. Completely no problem here. I'm guessing lair entrance is going to be here. If it's on D11, might have to stick a pin in it for now, but bees are normally a fairly scary enemy to run into a giant pack of at this point in the game, but fortunately, the ice walls kind of shred through them. I don't think they're vulnerable. Now, nothing quite as explicit as that, but being very squishy, very high evasion enemies, the walls... I don't know if the walls can miss. I don't believe so, because it seems like an ambient effect that's just kind of all around. So definitely pretty powerful against those high evasion packs. And ooh, first potion of the game here. General stores are interesting. Can be a bit of a crapshoot, or hit and miss, I guess I should say. I'll probably buy curing. Why not? It'll be nice to have around. And then for some of these other items, I'm tempted to buy them even if just to get a free identification. Potions of attraction. Oh, I was about to say we're probably not going to use them because we're not a melee fighter, but with Che, it will be very useful to be able to draw enemies closer to us because we don't want to take steps towards enemies, as that will result in a whole lot of free damage being dealt down upon our skulls. So okay, I think I'm pretty happy with that for now. But we'll pick up those attraction potions, which we now have 5 of. Jeez, okay. Ooh, and another spell book. That's kind of nice. Okay, that'll be nice. We can put up our icy ramparts and then just pull the enemies into it. Might be kind of fun. Okay, to fight Grum and his lackeys here, I wanted to immediately head into this nice sheltered place. Perfect. Look at those frozen ramparts. Beautiful. And then let's bring in the cavalry. And let's see. Ice Beast might honestly just take care of the whole shebang for us. Oh, Snorg is here. Oh, crap. Okay. The nice thing is we can just keep summoning more Ice Beasts in the background here. Oh, and Snorg walked into Rampart range. But Snorg is also about to Berserker Rage. I'm sure of it. Which is a wee bit scary here. Always is. What options do we have? Might want to keep enough mana for Ozuku's armor, just to give us a bit more AC in a toe-to-toe fight here. I think the ramparts will last until the death of our friend. Let's see, what would Polymorph turn you into? A wolf, a shock serpent, or shapeshifter? Those are all bad. Well, wolf isn't. Oh, crap. Forget that right click is not cancel. Dang it. But turns out, maybe all good. Let's throw on our Ozuku's armor, get a bit more defense, and just slash through Snorg on our own. So maybe a whole lot to do about nothing, but it's important to keep in mind. Stay safe out there. Better safe than sorry. And we'll keep it going. Wow, okay, this is just the floor of uniques. A couple of scary things here. Paralyze, Banish, Crystal Spear, Ishk. At 54 health, I feel like I'm on a cocky rampage just blowing through all these uniques, but Orocha is probably stronger than the other two. At least more complex, you know? Ooh, wait, take a step away. No, I don't have any powers of will. Why did I think I have willpower rings? I'm also just not wearing a second ring, though, so let's try this ring on. Ring of Flight. Oh, fun. Oh god, Orocha is so scary, mainly for the chance of banishment. Oh yeah, banishment is definitely a death sentence for us at this point, barring exceptionally lucky circumstances on our trip down. So I was hoping that we had some background options here. No, it wasn't the dagger. Apparently it was just my imagination that thought we had those. Huh. But let's take a quick step upstairs. Step out of the action. Take a look around. We're up to 7 identify scrolls. So it's a good opportunity to blow through some of these. I think these 8 scrolls are remove curse. Could be wrong, but you'd think so. With 8 at this point in the game. You'd think so. Summons constrain you, but yeah, avoid it until you have +++ willpower. At least a little bit more, yeah. Might get a bit risky if we need to, but oh, we kind of haven't found Lair yet. Could go into Orc 1 though. See what kind of resources we find there. Could find a piece of decent equipment. But let's, I guess, should be working and talking here, just because we're gonna blow through a few of these. Kind of just picking at random at this point. May keep one identify scroll around in case we find a particularly tempting looking weapon. And then Try on this leather armor. Cold resistance. I mean, it's not bad, but probably keep my regeneration, especially I just like the look of this. I wish this troll armor was stronger so I could wear it for the rest of the game. Because I'm gonna miss this cool, all I see is turtle for whatever reason, but like cool, badass fighting turtle. That's why I went ninja turtles. Anyway, back to the game. Off that random wild tangent. Won't waste any of those scrolls yet. Didn't get a whole lot of options available to us. I should actually, though, double check our spells here. Ice Form. Ice Form, I believe, gives you some defensive things, but I wasn't particularly interested in going for this. Gives you resistance to cold, and to poison, so that might be nice. But not helpful at the moment, so we're not going to worry about it. Then, yeah, I did see we picked up the Fire Spellbook, which, again, -3 aptitude. Not impossible to overcome, but not likely in a 3-rune game, especially when we have better options available, or at least more options than just that. And so, what do I wish to do? In my heart, I just want to duke it out with Elroka. But that banishment is no good. So let's go back into our dungeon overview. And, oh, we forgot to visit the temple. If we're looking pretty strong on our way up, remind me, we need to visit the temple on our way back out. But I'm going to dip my head into Orc, maybe, just to see if we can't gain even just a little bit more experience and power in the first floor here. Okay, good. No huge welcoming party at the very least. Okay, Priest, I'm gonna do some high-level tactics. Trying to cheat the vision here. Just try and get as close as we can, which honestly worked better than could have planned. Ooh, gosh, a sorcerer on this level in this economy. Okay, I don't like the paralyze there. That makes things kind of rough. Oh, and Fireball, or Firebolt. Also not great for our icy friends. But icy friends will distract enemies long enough. Okay, in fact, icy friends might just win. Turns out ice beasts still just by far more powerful than any caster possibly could hope to attain. But nice. I did not expect it to go that well. Oh god, another one? So Orc is fun, hey? I'm so glad we decided to come this direction. No, stop. I tried to put us closer to that unexplored territory, thinking it would help, but apparently I just have no idea how the algorithm actually works. Okay. Bring in the ice beasts. Oh, it's 2 sorcerers. Oh, that's fun. Okay, distract them with ice beasts. Oof. Ouch. Bolts of negative energy. Well, we have lots of healing still, and we have our ice beasts in full distract strats out there. Taking a lot of those paralyzed hits for us as well, which is godsend. Okay, we made it to the stairs. Oh, it's so tempting to stick around. Fight icy ramparts. It's not bad. Killed the 1 sorcerer, and then we probably die. Warrior, 20 plus the battle axe. Ouch indeed, yeah. No kidding. Things went south real fast there for a moment. I'd run, this is very scary. Oh, I know I should run, but the question is, can we get away with not running? Because that'd be fun. But no, 1 bolt, right. Any turn spent here, we're gonna get Bolt of Draining from this son of a, or Bolt of Fire is even worse. Actually, equally as worse. Now that I think about it, they're equal numbers and we have no resistance in either category. Sick. Okay, so Orc. Very dangerous, very scary. We could get a pip of fire resistance, but that's not exactly enough to take care of all of the problems we're dealing with down there. Fortunately, our ice beasts won't hang around at the top of the stairs like our orcs did, so we can't use that as a strat either. So, let's maybe take a peek at where some of these stairways led out, and as long as they're not too close to Elroka? I forget how I was pronouncing it this whole time now is the issue. As long as I don't start to doubt myself, I can just bull rush through it, but with all your ice spells, this character should be pretty strong in lair, right? Mostly reptile enemies is pretty sweet when you're dealing ice damage, so I would love to make it to lair. That's the goal here for sure. So I could go down to D11 and hope that the lair entrance is down there. It's fairly likely. We've explored a lot of this floor. You never know when you won't have one of the kind of big audacious opening lair areas, I guess. And instead it can sometimes be much like our Orcish Mines was this time around, just in the middle of nowhere, kind of unassuming. Let's see. I might peek down, see how D11 looks. If it's too scary, we can always, choose the lesser of all the evils we've run across so far. Let's get out of sight. Dive draining, get our summons up, and then get ice going. I don't think ice is effective. Fortunately, a +9 scimitar of holy is pretty awesome and effective. Ooh, another spellbook. More necromancy. Interesting. Again, though, not something we're very likely to be delving into ourselves. This is a beautiful place for us to get into combat. This absolutely expansive, area on that frozen ramparts is what I was gonna say, but this is gonna be pretty scary. Those large rocks will absolutely wreck us. And the summons kind of protect us. They'll body block for us, but if the Cyclops misses our Ice Beast by accident, it might kill us. So that's not great. I should have maybe, while we were in range, checked some options. Because I'm curious if we could have polymorphed. Wouldn't have been great odds. What other options do we have here? Slouch is up and running. Step from time is when we really have a solid panic button that we can press, because it will just completely warp us out of there, so we can get rid of a lot of really bad status effects that at least just last, that short amount of time or something like that. And sometimes we'll even lose some of the monsters around. But we don't want to be relying on that too often for sure. Okay, man, it's so tempting again to just fight things. Why is my brain so all I could think of was risk averse, but that's the opposite of what we're going for here. And I don't like not grammatically, but linguistically, you could almost think you could get away with saying that something was if you're like risk averse, right? Because A is as a prefix is lack of, I believe, if my very limited linguistics background, not background, I shouldn't say that, that's way too presumptuous, but knowledge, there we go. Very limited linguistic knowledge is correct. Ooh, a buckler. We are already up to a decent level of shields, definitely a decent level, to wear that buckler. Sweet.